Lives is on. Okay, hey, it's me, Jesse. I am actually wearing my New York Moment of Celebration Computing t-shirt from 2 years ago when I had the last in-person conference. And we're going to be talking about our project for that event today. I'm kind of moving it towards a more concrete, hey, let's put our stuff on paper. We have kind of a little bit over 2 weeks, but I'm going to say 2 weeks to wrap everything up. So this video will be very brief and just saying, okay, what can I do right now? What should I be doing? Here's what we're going to do. As you may recall, our slides are going to be here, and this is our general situation. We're going to have an intro, areas of focus, and a wrap up, and focusing different topics, and so on and so forth. But right now, whoops, I realized you aren't seeing my screen. Let's change that. Yes. There we go. Okay, let's try that again. So now, hopefully you're seeing my slides, and apparently you are. Okay. As I was saying, these are our slides. Nothing has really changed here yet. And we kind of have about 15-ish minutes, 15 to 20 minutes to talk about stuff. And none of that's really changed. We have our intro, we have our different topics, we have a wrap up, we have areas of focus that are these different things we want to talk about more in depth. But what's new right now is I've updated our document. And I'll get to this in a second, just to show you the old notes are still here. If you look on the side, this is kind of what we had before, just our scrap notes. If you still want to see them there's still some good discussion over here. Some of the resources, although most of these have been put into Zotero. Hint, hint, check it out over here. But this is still here if you need to see it. Not really a lot is new happening here. There is also the manuscript outline here, but that's not something you concern yourself with right now. So when you're here, and you can see the different topics here, basically what the plan is right now is let's fill out the little chunks, sections for each of our topics. I'm going to reference the context content conclusion rule as part of this great paper, 10 Simple Rules of Structuring Papers. It's sort of a meta paper. It's really good. And if you want to read more about it, you can. I've linked it here. And it's content, context, conclusion. It's just a very good way to structure things. In so many words, it's basically structuring a discernible beginning, a body, and an end, bringing up the context, advance the story, and end with the problems, find some conclusions or things to say about them anyway. Now, we still only have about 2 to 3 minutes per topic, and I just gave a 3-minute-ish flash talk today, and you have to be really concise about it. So it'll be a bit of practice to be very concise in these times. And just for reference, that'll probably be about 350 to 500 words, give or take. And as I say here, don't worry too much about the word count, honestly, because it's just general, and things can be it's much easier to summarize things when we put it into this. And I'm aiming to do that at the end of, not for a week or a week and a half, really. 2 weeks from now, we'll be really polishing this up. But I think it's time to put it into words here, because we've been thinking about this and talking about this, but it's time to, create the context, the content, and the conclusion of the topics we're working on. And again, our Zotero library link is here. It has a lot of really great sources that have been scattered out. So if you're curious, look there or ask me, ask anybody here for ideas. The introduction, this will be fleshed out more. Don't worry about this too much right now. I'll probably be writing about this more the next couple days and maybe more tonight. And just to kind of, again, walk through it again here, here's the topics, and I put an example, like a template, and then here's some ones that we've chosen here so far. Again, example topic, context paragraph, set the stage, assume no background knowledge for things, and maybe mention how it relates to an AI ethics framework. Why is this important to consider when talking about AI ethics? Content will be your details. This will be the biggest section. It doesn't have to be, it could be paragraphs plural. It doesn't have to be one big long paragraph if you don't want to do it that way. But just this section should be, you know, your case studies, your elaboration, details, and kind of the meat and potatoes, as the saying goes, or the Impossible Burger and, you know, celery sticks, whatever you go for. And then the conclusion will be kind of, what's your point? What do we need to know? How does this topic, how does what we talked about in the content fit into the context? How does it relate to the AI ethics in general? What are we saying? Why are we saying this is important? What's sort of the takeaway, and so on. And I made some generic bullet points, like you don't have to format things too pretty right now. We're not, these aren't, you know, it's going to be slides and stuff like that. But if you want to just drop the link of what you were reading here, great. That'll be awesome. So I'll go through some of the topics that we do have here. I put most of them here. And there's a couple notes on a few of them. I know Min was very much interested in a comparative analysis of this. Feel free to kind of set this up how you want. If you want to do it by region or government or type or however you want to do it. I'm reminded of one of our sources right now that I want to put there, which is, again, over here is the Ethics and Society main folder. And there's a bunch of things under the subfolders. And if you have anything you want to put there, let us know. The global landscape of AI ethics and guidelines. I'll put that here. Is there another one? There should be that. There should be something else here actually, because I have a big old database of ethics frameworks. But this will do just fine. I'll just put this here. So, wow, that's great. So now that's there if you want to look at it. But yeah, I honestly, this one could maybe, this could be the exception, because talking about frameworks themselves may be, it may be something we spend like twice as much on if you want to, if we really want to go there. So this one, this could be maybe, you know, twice as long. Like this, you could like really feel free to put as much into this one as you want. And Min mentioned stuff, but anybody who wants to start putting things in this document, go right ahead. Don't hold back on this one, because this will benefit everybody who reads this. Will gain from, okay, what is this framework? What are we talking about here? And go ahead and, you know, don't hold back on that one. AI bias and neutrality. This one could. AI bias is a huge topic in general. Like you can take that from many different angles. But I'm going to particularly focus on neutrality. Actually, what I'm going to do is, well, I'll go over neutrality first, because Birhane, I think is how you say her last name, Abebe Birhane. I really like this paper, and I just want to kind of do a quick review of this paper. It's basically going to be a 2 to 3 minute paper review. And you can, again, you can go in on this with me if you'd like. But she's basically criticizing neutrality as a term, and I believe I have this up here. But you know, this is the really she's basically saying, you know, neutrality doesn't really exist. It doesn't. There's not really a value-free space. It's not really a totally neutral space. It's not a place that is amoral, and there's a lot of intrinsic political implications, even though it's data and numbers. And I just find I met her at the NeurIPS Black and AI workshop and the Resistance AI workshop, and I follow her on Twitter, and she's very. I really like her approach to things. So she kind of has a relational ethics approach, algorithmic injustice. She's looking at how to do it with a, I think, a useful and an innovative and a forward-looking approach. So I'm going to review this paper and kind of put my findings into this section here. That's my plan. However, what I think I'm going to do also is open this up, because it might not be clear if someone's just reading this. Can I do this? Yeah. I'll probably make this a little more clear cut, but like AI bias is such a big topic that I don't want to deter people from focusing on it or giving an overview about it, which is why I made this comment. Like, I don't want to take anybody's space away if they want to mention something about AI bias or do a broader. What is AI bias? If you want to do a very broad level overview, go right ahead. That's kind of why I had this towards the top of the list here, because that might be a good order to go in. Again, that's that's flexible too. But yeah, AI bias, neutrality, that will definitely be there. Feedback and algorithmic auditing in general. I know Krishna's talked about this somewhat. He's written a little bit about it in at least one paper that I've seen him draft out a bit. I put some references here. I really like Sam Brown's work, or excuse me, Sarah Brown's work. Sam's the podcast host. But this was a podcast that you could listen to or look at. Just there's a lot of good resources here in terms of, I think they have some other tools for finding out her Sarah's personal page and some related resources. So this is just a really good, a lot of good stuff here. So check that out if you like. And then this is a classic paper on closing the AI gap and all that really goes into that, an end-to-end framework. So again, that's kind of a little bit of the feedback and where do you input some human accountability into the process. This may go into a kind of suggested reading list for the topic. We could do, if we, I don't think we're going to be that gung ho for it, but we could basically do an annotated bibliography as well. Or this might morph into such a thing, honestly. These are what we're creating is sort of annotated bibliography in some ways, really. But I wanted to do it in this. I'm giving this template of context, content, conclusion, just to kind of steer some things. Differentiating AI safety and AI ethics. That's an interesting topic that'll come up for sure. Current events. This could be many things, but I think at very least we should focus on Google. There's just so much stuff that continues to happen at Google and the fallout of Google's AI ethics team. There's a lot to say here. A moral theory, that's kind of something I was curious about. If anybody wants to do computational ethics, you can. This would be sort of a, how is this different from that it's not the same thing. It's more like the words the other way around, but it's still an interesting topic. And I don't think we'll have time to do it, but if somebody's really gung ho for it and wants to just look at technical implementations for modeling ethics and how this related to artificial intelligence in general, you're welcome to do so. And the conclusion will be fleshed out more as we flesh these out. But that's pretty much it for the time being. So we're looking for flesh out these paragraphs. You have a couple hundred words, not that much. But feel free to pick a topic and just start filling it in. You don't have to worry if you find something that you want to do or that you said you want to do. Start fleshing it out. I'm going to be working on this more the next few days for sure, but I just wanted to put this here, and I think that's pretty much it. I'll go back to this. So yeah, thanks for the time, and thanks for all the feedback and input that we've had so far. But yeah, in the next week, it'd be great to kind of flesh out these paragraphs and maybe have another week after that to look at them over, start putting them in the slides, and we're pretty much good to go. So if you have questions, if you have resources, if you have ideas, please reach out to me. I'd like to have discussion in Slack primarily, just because everybody can be there. We have the hashtag ethics in society channel, but also email me or hit me up on all the different ways that I talk to each of you, GitHub or Messenger or wherever really. So that's the update for now. It's almost time. You can register for the conference as well. I think it's like $20 or so, and you don't have to register. I will be registering. But if you want to, enjoy and participate in things beyond our presentation, you're welcome to do so. But it's not necessary. And that's it. That's my update. Thank you for watching. Signing off. And now I gotta actually remember how to close this. This is the second time I did this stream. The first time I didn't really record, but I think this is a little bit more concise. So thanks for watching.